This is where the fun begins.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Thursday morning coffee chat with your host with the most. Excuse me, there goes my voice. Alora, O.G.Starwars, and thank you guys so much for tuning in and joining me for coffee chats again, where we sit and chat about Star Wars news, events, all of that. And I have some fun and crazy things to share with you guys. So I am excited to get started here. But first of all, before we start, ourselves, please let me know which beverage you're enjoying, what's in your mug. Again, I'm enjoying my coffee in what is turning out to be one of my favorite mugs. And you can see the art right behind me. That is a 16 by 20, I believe, size, which is up for sale if you want to purchase that size. It is available. And if you do, then it would be hand signed by me with a little note to you as well, because I'm very, very grateful for your continued support of my channel. So I see people are trickling in right now. So good morning. What is in your mug as well? And hello, SoulAssassin. So let me see here. I have Kenny Long, who was on our stream last night for a special edition of HoloNet Journal, which basically was a celebration of Star Wars 30 or 45 years um, of its premiere, are coming out in theaters, sharing the story, and then 35 years under George Lucas. So thank you again for coming in as well. Um, Busy with some errands. We'll listen on replay later, but both excited and dreading 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Kenobi will drop. First two episodes, I'm hoping for the best, but expecting the worst. Well, you enjoy. I'm not going to say don't enjoy. I'm not going to watch because that's not the lore I'm interested in. I know already there's a lot of, lore breaking continuity. They're basically retconning the story, and the rematch of the century is basically gonna retcon it. So, but enjoy. I mean, if that's your thing, if that's your bag, go ahead. Um, then Bahamut Zero. Hello there, OGs. Hello and cheers to you again. Look at this. Isn't this gorgeous? I don't know. How is my sound? Because I put my um, headpiece back in. I know last time it was cracking. So how is it? So last night I had some technical difficulties a little bit with my mic on my laptop, and I did have a mic which isn't very very good use. I have this headpiece that I use when I teach yoga Zoom, and that works pretty well. So let me know how it sounds. So let me know. All right, let's see here. And of course, Soul Assassin is in the house. What's up, homie? How are you doing? Hit the like button and share the stream out. Yes, and thank you so much for being here and always supporting. He gave me an article. Sometimes I don't even share the articles, and sometimes we just talk about it. But he gave me an article that I thought that we would go ahead and view and debunk. Basically, it's reasons why the PT is still awful, which this person, this journalist, or whatever you want to call him, they are such awful takes, and that we'll just get into it. I just will leave it at that. And also today we are going to get into other Force societies. We know of the Jedi and the Sith. We're going to talk about the Aing-Tii Monks, and I'm going to share a clip about them and just their influence on the galaxy a little bit. We're not going to go into the lore of their species or anything, just a little bit about them in the Force and how they're a different Force society. And so with that, I shared above, so vote on the poll. What is your favorite Force society? If you know them, go ahead and vote for your favorite one or which one you prefer. I didn't put Aing-Tii Monks on there since we're talking about them. So, but there's so many of them, I couldn't share all of them. So I tried to be random, tried to put some familiar ones up. So go ahead and check it out. Tabletop Junkie, what's up? Hello. Thank you again for joining in. Let's see here. Phil says they're chatting along. Oh, Logan, how are you doing? How are you doing? And again, look at this. You guys could purchase this for yourselves. There's two different styles of mugs, and you can even get a water bottle too. Um, on my Redbubble. You could get other prints, you can get a pillow, you can get a t-shirt, or you could buy the actual print on my gallery website too. So check that out. Let's see here. Love that cup. Thank you so much. So do I. It's my art. It's like this is inspired by one of the Republic's comic covers. And it has in front of her has Obi-Wan and Anakin, and so parts of her is basically blocked off by their characters, by their stance in front of her. So I had to go back and and basically, I know anatomy and stuff, so I had to draw her arms and the pieces that were covered of her body. And here you go. And then I put Rat Attack, her home true home planet, not what the Clone Wars, Filoni Clone Wars says. So I used her home planet behind her, which is called Rat Attack, and this piece is called Mistress of Rat Attack. So check it out. I did switch some things up on there. I'm very proud of this. There's other pieces I'm very proud of too. And I still haven't started the Boba Fett one. I will get it started. I look forward to that. I still haven't found the title for that, but it's going to have Slave One behind it. It's going to be on the board, a canvas board like the other paintings, like what do you call it? Quinlan Voss and Asajj are on. It's a treated board for oil painting. So I have to still purchase that. It's just been so much going on, I forgot to purchase it. Let me see. Do I have the actual? So this is what it's going to look like. It's been through heck because it got knocked down and stuffed on, but this is just a concept sketch here. And oil, this is done in Copic markers, so alcohol-based markers. And so behind it, it's going to have his ship, Slave One. So basically, that was his home. Even though, we could say Camino was his home planet, or we could say even Concord Dawn, because that's where originally, Jango Fett's from, or you can even say Mandalore, because that's who he is too as well. And but Slave One has always been his home, always. Let's see here. And then Zagharat, hello again. And thank you for sharing that. And then Marcus, hey, still cracking and this distortions. So it's still cracking. I might have to take this off. I'm going to have to get a new mic. I'm going to have to get a new professional system. So that's crazy. That's cracking. I will disconnect in a couple of minutes here. So hold on. Sorry that I'm cracking. Let's get this show cracking, literally. Jackson, hello. So glad to see you. You aren't enlightened. Okay, I don't know what that means, but hello. And then I don't know any of those forced societies. Okay, that's okay. We'll within the next few copy chats, we'll talk about forced societies, so you guys will learn. If you don't know, that's okay. You will learn. So that's the exciting thing about copy chat, is that I can sit down and talk with you guys about maybe stuff you don't have never covered in the EU, and that will your horizons with it and want to learn more. When did you start reading Star Wars, and what book did you start with? I started reading in like I started reading like the little children's stuff when I was younger, and then the first book novel I ever got into was True Sad Baccarat, and nope, so it wasn't Heir to the Empire or even Thrawn Trilogy. So there you go. So there's a lot of like scholastic stuff that I picked up growing up, but the the main novels, I guess you could say, that I really began with was True Sad Baccarat. So yeah. So let's see here. And Whitlock, hello. I am psyched. I'm a little less familiar with some of these, like the Aing-Tii Monks, yeah, the Aing-Tii Monks, but I love the Sages and the Fallen Nasi. Awesome. Good to hear that. Yeah, so this is what this is about. This is what Coffee Chat's about as well, is just nerding out on Star Wars that we normally don't discuss, that are not discussed often. And then Phil says, but seriously, hi, O.G.Starwars. Hello. Hello, hello. Yeah, I'll take that out. If I'm still crackling, I'll take off the mic and stuff, and we'll go back to my computer mic. And I plan, hopefully within the next few days, on getting a new mic and connect it to my laptop and make so there's mics that I'm looking at. but they're a pretty penny, but it's worth the investment just to be loud and clear to you guys, and with no, I guess you could say, voice dysfunctions like robotic or metallic or underwater or kraken. So last night went from underwater quiet to now kraken. Yeah, let's see here. Batu, hello, what's up? Let's see here. And Lord, that Ventress, love that Ventress artwork. Perfect to see as I am reading Brotherhood right now. There you go. Brotherhood, that's Disney's, right? It's a Brotherhood from Disney. That Ventress here is very different than the Ventress in Disney lore. So just a warning there. Even her looks and how she became, all of that. So that the lore of her is completely changed in that one. Quinlan Voss and Ventress is awesome and need a story regarding them. There is a little bit of that, but her main story has always been centered around Obi-Wan, in a sense. Let's see here. Hey, OG, I have a few questions because I'm learning about Native American culture for checking inspiration with some Star Wars cultures. Could I DM you on Twitter? Sure, go ahead. If I can help you out, I'm more than happy to. I've taught Native American dance and cultural enrichment history for 15 plus years, and so I could try with the best of my ability. I also teach Native American art, like beadwork and stuff. Janissari, there you go. Um, let's see here. You're pixeled and sound cracky. I'm pixeled. Ooh, what is going on? I should have restarted my internet, before I started. I don't want to end either. I'm turning off my internet off my phone. So hopefully that'll help. Jeez. The owner monks, yes, those guys are crazy too. Oh yeah, absolutely very different. Yes. Have a great stream. Have to leave. All right, thank you for dropping in and saying hello. And again, before we move on here, um, if you are a channel member, and channel membership is always open. If you are a channel member, your name will be entered in the drawing to win a copy of the coming painting of Boba Fett. And so check that out. If OG starts sounding like the bounty hunter Princess Leia went disguised as in Return of the Jedi, I'll feel a Coke. Uh-oh. Are you guys betting on that? Let me see here. I don't know what's going on. I hate that my internet is doing this. It's so frustrating. It is so frustrating. Wow. Okay. Let me see here. I'm going to go ahead and unplug real quick from this right here. I thought I'd try it out to see. All right, I'm back. So how do I sound? I hope it's better, even though it's going to be a little bit different. I'm not going to. I was hoping I would sound clearer and stuff, but I guess not. So testing. So I'm going to pull up an article before we get into the Aing-Tii Monks, and this was given to me or made to my attention by our very own mod here, SoulAssassin. So cheers to you. And I decided to use it today because it does deal with the PT, and lately. Thank you, Whitlock. Yes, much clearer. Okay. And lately there has been like a campaign, it feels like, with Lucasfilm on making like old, or not old because we're not old, but longtime fans look like we didn't appreciate like the PT, we didn't appreciate the characters or what have you, or even that we are racist and isophobes and stuff. And so I think that's very disingenuous, and this article too is very disingenuous and quite funny at that as well. So you guys can laugh with me. I see Wiltry to be more of a smoothie to O.G.Starwars, but I don't want to be called a scruffy looking nerf herder. I see would try to be more of a smoothie to O.G.Starwars. I got confused on this right here. You're good though.
You sound better now. Thank you, Zagrat. Yes. All right. So let me go ahead and pull up that article. And thank you again, SoulAssassin. He likes to see me get triggered, and that's part of his joy. Is like, um, he's like, I just want to see your response articles and stuff. So let me see here. Let me go ahead and scroll up. There we go. All right. Let's see here. And please, again, go ahead and check out and vote for your favorite Force Society. I know that maybe some of you guys won't know exactly what they are, but if you do, please vote. And we have the Force Witches, which are highly known, at 57, the Fallen Nasi at 7%, Janissary at 21, and Barando Sages at 14. So this poll will end around just at the top of 10 or after 10. So get your votes in. And if you don't see your favorite Force Society there, this is not including Jedi or Sith because we always talk about them. Then go ahead and share with me in the comments here, but still vote for the second favorites. So here we go. Let's go ahead and check this out. I'm going to go ahead and make this a full screen instead, so my picture's out of there. Let's see here. And welcome to Orange Hat Review. Thank you for dropping in. Geez, it's not just your internet that's weird today. I had to restart 2 times. Yeah, I might have to restart my internet connection after this. But hopefully that this stream doesn't sound robotic or anything like that. Hopefully we're going to be okay now that I disconnected from my headset. Force Switches, that's what Asajj was a part of. No, she was not. She was Rat Attack, and she lost her family, who were basically the rulers of Rat Attack, by some overlords, I guess you could say, that took over the planet. And she eventually got revenge and killed them. And if you see her tattoos on her face and around her skull and stuff, each one of those is for each one of those warlords that she killed in revenge. When she was found and orphaned earlier in life, she was trained by a Jedi that was stranded there. So that's why she is a trained Force user, I guess you could say. And then later, she did get revenge, and after her master was killed by them as well. And very sad story on her part. So she was never a witch. She was never a witch, that the Marian witch, or whatever you want to call them. She was completely different until the Clone Wars. And so and I will stick by that the Clone Wars basically was just propaganda material by the Empire, or by the in the war between the Republic and the Separatists. So there you go. That's just what I'm going to stick with, because it doesn't make sense to change such a pivotal character that also influenced Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin. And she's the reason why Anakin got his scar. So there's a little bit lore on her. SoulAssassin, here's the article for y'all to read later. He's very proud of that one. And then, SoulAssassin, did you say something bad? No, you didn't. Hey, what's up, Lady Toriel? Thank you for coming in. Good morning, everyone. I popped in and will be listening. Thank you so much. And again, your name and any channel members' names will be entered to win a copy of the Boba Fett painting that will be coming out here soon. I mean, I like the original trilogy more than the prequels, but I love Revenge of the Sith, maybe in my top 2 or 3 Star Wars movies ever. And its novelization is one of the best books ever Star Wars, best book Star Wars ever did. Correct. It is an amazing movie novel and EU novel. Let's see. Yeah, they're called Night Sisters, yeah. But they are still the witches. They're still from that culture, I guess you could say. TCW truly massacred her character, correct. Also, it's important. Also, it's important with Ventress to know that the Night Sisters in EU are Disney canon, are not are nowhere near the same thing, correct. And the story that really got into Dathomir and brought Dathomir and the witches and all that is The Courtship of Princess Leia. So I would suggest to read that. This book is a mixed review, but it does have great storylines in there, and it does introduce different cultures and new worlds into the EU. So it's worth the read. And if you read it after you're done, let me know what you think, and we have a nice discussion. Joseph says, never read the books, was mostly got into from the OG movies. Okay, that's fair enough. And then the fighting expert. Hey, what's up? And those who are tuning in, vote for your favorite for society. It's in the chat there, and let me know what you're enjoying. Your beverage, what's in your mug. I'm a hexology guy. If you want insightful books, read the Star Wars archive books by Paul Duncan. So there's a lot of material out there. So let's go ahead and get into this article. I'm going to go ahead and take a sip. All right. So again, this was given to me by SoulAssassin. He's like, hey, check this out. I'm like, okay, let's see. And this is basically the worst moments in the Star Wars prequels. And so he tweeted, the author of this tweeted out, and this is from Screen Rush. So this is probably just some opinionated BS, journaling website. So we're just going to, make light of it and stuff like that and be, and say our 2 cents or whatever. So he tweeted out that I rewatched the prequels and they are still awful, basically. And I'm paraphrasing. That's not exactly what he said. Full disclosure, and this is by, where's his name at? Matt Singer. And this was published on Star Wars Day, May 25th. So I think that was very disingenuous since, most of the Star Wars, all of the 6 movies came out in the month of May. 2 on, May 25th, which is the very first one, Star Wars, which we now know as A New Hope, and then Return of the Jedi. So here we go. Full disclosure, I didn't set out to write this piece. In fact, I plan to write something close to the opposite of this piece. With Obi-Wan Kenobi streaming on Disney Plus and Ewan McGregor returning to the title role for the first time in 15 years, fan sentiment about Star Wars prequels is at an all-time high. I think what happened was that the ST made us value all of the movies that came before it. More so than we ever, because of how awful they were with the lore and the continuity and all that. In hyping Obi-Wan, McGregor himself claimed he discovered a wave of positivity from generations of Star Wars fans who grew up with the prequels and loved them. We will discuss this probably again in on spacing, and we discuss this past on spacing, but there are conventions that Ewan went to during the PT time where fans rushed to him in praise for his character. So I don't know where this comes from, because even outside of that, if someone recognized Ewan, they recognized him for Obi-Wan and they wanted pictures with him and all that. So I really think that Ewan is being disingenuous right now to hype up the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, because the past shows that fans really loved his character and really loved him. So there was hype back then. So I don't know. So this kind of makes me not favor him too well right now, because I feel that he's being very dishonest right now. But let's go on. And he wouldn't lie about something like that. I just got covered that. He's a Jedi. No, he's not. He's a person who plays a Jedi. He's not the actual character. You need to basically, distinguish the character from the actor. So I decided to write an essay that would explore the reasons for that wave of positivity and examine why contemporary audiences so despise these films. It's excuse me. Wow. He says contemporary audiences. So is he referring to the Disney audience? Because myself and many that grew up with Star Wars are longtime fans, I guess you can say. Really liked the PT. Yeah, there were still complaints, but complaints about like a character or certain dialogue doesn't equate hate of a whole trilogy or even a movie. You could still love a movie, and the movie could still be like the most popular and still have some stuff that maybe are not well liked and could have been done. So there we go. Then I actually sat down and watched the movies. So basically, yeah, I'm sure McGregor has experienced a wave of positivity about his Star Wars movies. You just said that he never did. So what's the thing here? Look hard enough and you can find waves of positivity and all kinds of awful crap on the internet. The worst movie I saw is 2021. In 2021 was Space Jam, and A New Legacy. And 2,000 people have gave the cinematic abomination a perfect 5-star review on Letterboxd. I don't trust those things because it doesn't fully represent, but and then with the history of Rotten Tomatoes, they do rig it to where it the critics have more say than the fans. You know, we if you look back at the history of that in the last few years or 5 years, I guess you could say, you could see how rigged and how dishonest some of these platforms are. So I never refer them for reviews. If I'm reviewing something, if I ever decide to review a movie on my channel, I won't refer to them. Um, but going back between then and now, then the media influenced, and the media hated the PT, whereas the positivity came from the majority of fans. Yeah, fans were influenced by media. There is that, because we even see it now more polarized today because of the internet and social media and stuff. But back then, social media and the internet wasn't as prevalent, and so we were like, the TV was still more used than the internet and stuff. And so yeah, there was a lot of influence from the media towards the fans and stuff. Now when you look at the Disney trilogy, it's the critics highly praised everything, and maybe not as much for the rise of Palpatine, but and then fans did not. So there's this polar opposite. There's this opposite going on, and I think it's very telling that media and critics, these professional quote unquote critics, don't really know much. They don't know what fans want. They are not, within, I guess you could say, our reality. They don't live in, basically our humble worlds, our pheasant worlds, I guess you could say. But I'm going to go ahead and move on from this topic and push on this article. And sadly, the Star Wars prequels are still decidedly not good. So that's what he thinks. This is this person's opinion. Let me know. I'm going to go ahead and check out the chat real quick and see what you guys are saying. Hopefully, I'm not sounding, aquatic now underwater. Hopefully, you guys can hear me clear. And it looks like you guys have a good conversation with each other. And hello, the frightening experts. Most of the prequel hate stems from, Red Letter Media. Yes, and that's another one. And Hollywood people mad at George Lucas for making a franchise without Hollywood. A YouTuber named Rick Worley has documentaries on PT hate, how the PT hate happened. Please share that link, please. I would love to dissect that, and maybe we will review it here on the channel. All right. I hate my sinuses lately. This is the worst year for my friggin' sinuses, you guys. It's crazy. Let's see here. Laugh out loud. Hello, the Sentinel. How are you doing? Decidedly not good, my butt, right? And then I still think Mr. Plinkett started the prequel hate. Yeah, that's another one too. And that the people versus George Lucas is very disingenuous. So I don't use that as proof as well, because it is very, very one-sided, with just attributing to that. And so let's go back to the article. Let's see here. For proof, check these 15 moments. So basically, let's scroll down. Worst moments in the Star Wars prequels, which I really think, again, that are disingenuous. So I'm going to go ahead. Maybe I'll keep it up. So here's the picture. Let me see here. So we have the droidekas ready to and armed and shooting at Qui-Gon there. So this is from the Phantom Menace. The Jedi have speed, but just one time, which is false, because we see them in action with their speed, force enhanced abilities to for their speed, their jumps and stuff throughout the PT. No, the OT did not have that, because Luke was still learning. There was still a lot of, he didn't have the custom training that Jedi did in the PT. His training was very unconventional. And so we see the difference. There has to be a difference between, Jedi in the prime learning under their masters in the galaxy at the temples and through travels and stuff like that, versus, the Jedi being returned through Luke Skywalker and how unconventionally he was trained. All right, so let's go ahead and go. In one of the weirdest moments in the Star Wars show, which is really saying something, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan get out of a jam early in The Phantom Menace when they are surrounded by destroyer droids by using cartoon-like super speed to escape their attackers. No, that's basically Force enhanced. If you know the lore, you would know that their Jedi are capable of using the Force to enhance their running. We see that in the PT, we see that in the EU. We even see Luke use Force enhanced jumps in, which help him get out of predicaments in the OT, like Empire Strikes Back and even in Return of the Jedi. So there we go. And in an image above, blah, blah. So yes, Jedi Knights have enhanced fighting abilities, and we often see them making possibly long and high leaps to an ordinary person, or leaps that an ordinary person could never pull off. But they never ran like Roadrunner before or after this moment. Yes, they have in the EU. George Lucas used a lot of EU stuff in the PT. So this person doesn't know what they're talking about, and their Force running powers would have came in handy many times, including in the Phantom Menace when Obi-Wan doesn't run fast enough to catch to Qui-Gon. There's a reason why he didn't run fast enough to catch Qui-Gon, is because of the shields that go off every often and hold, because if he gets caught in that, he could kill him. Yeah, so tell me you don't know much about Star Wars without telling me. All right. Let's go ahead and see what you guys are saying about this one. We are reading stuff for nerds. Yes. Let's see here. The People versus George Lucas came out in 2007. Red Letter Media started the Plinkett videos in 2008. By 2010, Simon Pegg and Damon Lindelof praised the Red Letter Media videos, and they went viral because of that. Correct. Thank you for doing the exact trail, the paper trail there, because I didn't link some of them together. Thank you so much, Sentinel. There were decided two Star Wars fan groups, movie fans and fans of the whole collective story. Laugh out loud. We are the true fans, but the movie fans are louder. Correct. Let's see here. I just rationalized they jumped and ran. Droidekas aren't exactly fast when unrolled. Right. They aren't. They rely, they can't be destroyed because of their shield, right? And then they're like a nightmare to the Jedi, basically. And then they don't move as fast. And so Jedi speed can help them out, but droidekas do kill Jedi. They are made to do that. Might be thinking it's 2000 Grievous. I don't know what that was about. Let me see here. The Jedi have super sprint speed. They can't run like Cheetah indefinitely. How hard is that to figure out? Look at Luke, super speed jump out of the carbonate chamber. Pure hypocrisy, right? All right, so let's go to this one. The Trade Federation battled tactics tank. Now, as best as I can tell, I could be completely wrong about some or all of this, because the Phantom Menace is at a time an indecipherable story. No, if you can't decipher it, I don't know what to tell you, dude, because I understood it from the beginning. The Trade Federation wants the leader of Naboo, Queen Amidala, to sign a treaty that will legitimize their occupation for the planet. They want to take control. That was one of their ways to take control. By taking control of all the different sectors, they start having control of the galaxy. Naboo is one of the most influential planets. They lend their forces in a gigantic, and if you didn't realize it, it's Palpatine's planet. Kind of put two and two together there. But I'm not going to state the obvious right now. They land their forces in a gigantic forest, apparently on the opposite side of the planet, because Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan have to get to the capital to warn Amidala. The Federation is completely traveling through the center of the planet. If you want the Queen, why not go where the Queen is? Why land so far away that people have time to warn her you're coming, enable her to make a handy escape? Clearly because the script needs her to escape. She can go to Tatooine. First of all, they land on the opposite side of the planet because of the blockade. And they don't fly around to where she's at because of the blockade. There's a huge difference, and that's why they travel through the planet. That's why they travel through the underwater byways of the planet to get to her. Again, not that hard to understand. There's blockades. They can't travel around without being noticed. The blockades. Again, the blockades. So, okay, let's go on. A space horse farts on Jar Jar Binks. Now, this right here was, yes, kiddie stuff. I know fans didn't care for it and stuff, but this does not mean the show is bad. Some people who love this kind of like humor didn't mind it. Even adults didn't mind it. I didn't mind it. I mean, it was there for laughs and stuff, but it doesn't break the story. And so he says, obviously, Jar Jar Binks is a controversial figure in Star Wars mythology. He's a bumbling fool who, for no apparent reason, gets to tag along with Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan through their entire adventure in The Phantom Menace. He is saved. He is exiled from his people. He is saved. So there's reasons why. Even after he's outlived the immediate usefulness, introducing them to the Gungan people of Naboo, of which Jar Jar is the most obnoxious member. Putting aside Jar Jar's irritating speech pattern and part false, they all speak that way. The Gungans all speak that way, not just Jar Jar. He also brings poop and fart humor into Star Wars universe as Anakin and his team are getting ready for the big pod race. Jar Jar gets a big beat where a bizarre looking four-legged alien, some kind of cross between horse and a hairless anteater, straight up farts on him. Oh, so you're talking about the Eope? Yeah, again, you don't know what Star Wars. You're not a fan of Star Wars, like a huge fan of Star Wars if you don't know the name of the species of this animal. I love a good fart joke as much as in the next eye, but this is not good fart joke. Why are they interrupting the big dramatic buildup? They are walking around in the streets of Mos Espa. No, Moss Isley. I'm sorry, I stand corrected. And no, there's no big climatic thing going on right now. Really, there isn't. Right now, they're just looking for their hyperdrive parts they needed. So, anyways, let me go ahead and take a look at the chat. Let's see here. See, this guy doesn't realize there are rules. If you don't know what the Rusan reformations are, you shouldn't be allowed to comment on stuff. They could have committed war crimes if they do that. Right. And tactically, it makes sense land somewhere where you can deploy your forces with minimal resistance and concealment, right? Again, I've been following the epistemology of the Prequel Hate. Sorry, I'm just about everything right now. Hey, since the day I found the Plinkett videos. Well, thank you so much for doing your research, and I commend you for that. I commend you. Jackson says Jar Jar is better and has more relevance than the Disney or the DL characters like Rose. This article, written by the ignorant, journalistic integrity is like a soggy cracker, little more than mush. Yeah. Let me see here. Let's see here. Oh, for Pete's sake, maybe they think the fart episode Eope is to the PT they fly now is to the ST. Probably they fly now. The Eope farted in the buildup of the pod race. He stepped in goo while walking through the streets. Right, they were just looking for the part that wasn't yet. That part of the lore story wasn't yet developed. They were looking for the parts for the Padme's ship. Let's see here. I was gonna say Amidala and Padme. I was gonna say Amidala and then I say Adame. So I combine Padme and Amidala. Adame. There you go. She's an elected queen. Yes, that is possible in the Star Wars lore. That doesn't make the movie bad at all. That's just how they select their rulers. There's no hierarchy, that's passed down through blood. This is a democratic system with the title of queen. As a teenager seeing the Phantom Menace for the first time in 1999, I saw Queen Amidala as the queen of a planet and really didn't think too deeply about that beyond that. But if you're following the film plot, not an easy thing to do. Actually, it's very easy, my friend. Very easy. I admit you realize that Naboo is not some sort of monarchy. Amidala was elected to be queen of Naboo, but why? As seen in the Phantom Menace, she is young teenage. Yeah, she is she made history. She even states that maybe it was a bad mistake, but she took it. She still was an absolute amazing leader as their queen, and they even wanted her to stay within politics. And they also made her a part of the Senate, part of her elective Senate senatorial after she her term ended. So that again was not hard to understand. And then he goes on to say, but why? So and he talks about her being, a young girl who appears to have little practical political knowledge and speaks in a flat, effective monotone. She does have a lot of political knowledge. That's why she was elected. And that's why she was also then kept in politics in the Senate for Naboo. And the reason why she spoke flat when she was dressed up as the queen was because of her leadership. She spoke in a authoritative tone, I guess you can say. And she also had bodyguards who spoke like her because they were her bodyguards. She is the opposite of charismatic leader. Beyond her admittedly amazing fashion sense, why would anyone vote for her? Because she was amazing leader. That's why. So here we go. Let me see what you guys have to say with this one. Hello. Let me see. Hello, Brian. How are you doing? Popping in to say hi, OG. Thank you for popping in. And so what? She's elected and not permanent. This ain't no Queen Elizabeth special, right? It's just how they it's just how the Nabarian and Naboo people elected their leadership, and they made it a type of monarchy that was democratic. And it's different, it's unique, and it worked. It made sense. Let me see here. And so people who complain about Padme being young as a queen do not know history. No, they don't. They do not. And let's see here. The prequel hate was started by the media and finished by the media with the help of the first wave of YouTubers like Red Letter Media, etc. Yes. And our chat says it's called realty. She measures her tone and keeps with decorum correct. Thank you. Padme was big time goals, right? And her daughter Leia followed suit because she was the youngest to be in the Senate as well for her time. So we have this right here. So this is how I seen Luke and Leia and their parents. Luke had a lot of Padme's like demeanor and stuff, and Leia had a lot of Anakin's demeanor, like the wits and stuff like that, and the temper and stuff. So Luke, even though he was a Jedi like his father, his demeanor was a lot similar to his mom's. Whereas Leia, she took her a long time to become a Jedi, right? But she still became a Jedi. But her demeanor was a lot like her father's, and she was a Senate. She was in the government, in politics, like her mother. So there's these stark differences and contrasts between them and their parents that I love. And let me know if you agree with me. This was the first time the Jedi had been to Naboo. Let's see here. That's half of the point of the prequel, to show numerous different ways of planets to conduct their politics. It's a space politics movie. I don't want to watch a sci-fi movie about American politics. No, it's about their in-world politics. George used themes and tropes of our world, events that happened during his lifetime and part of mine, to create Star Wars. So he took them and made tropes and themes from them, and he was successful at that. Then a Sith showed up, and they adopted a slave boy, right? Let's see, Padme Panda Bear, whatever her name is, robot chicken reference. There we go. I wouldn't call it kid size. Let's see here. And then Orange Hat says, you just got me to bust out a lot of my lore books, Expanded Visual Encyclopedia and the PT Visual Dictionaries, Book of the Sith and Jedi Path, trying to find the Bounty Hunter book and Imperial books too. Awesome. I'm glad to inspire you to bust out your stuff here. I do have Jedi versus Sith for the when we talk about the Aing-Tii Monks. I do have a video that I'm going to share with that. That is referencing what is called Visions of the Future that I'm going to play as part of that experience. So stay tuned for that for you guys. It's going to be fun. Let's go on. Number 5, Anakin manages to find a kid-sized helmet. There are some very dumb moments in The Phantom Menace, but there might not be a sillier one than the sequence where Anakin Skywalker hides in a spaceship. It's basically a starfighter, my friend, or I wouldn't even say friend, but yeah, to stay safe during the blast fight between the Jedi and the Queen's Guards and the Trade Federation droid army. Yes, the Jedi, in their infinite wisdom, had taken their latest pupil into the middle of a war zone. They were traveling with him. So I don't know what that remark is about. In fact, if you know the lore, masters do take their Padawans with them anyways during training, because the experience of outside of the temple is just as valuable as experience on the inside. But they were basically gonna return to the temple where they got called to help with with Padme and stuff like that. So in short, naturally the ship takes off on its own with Anakin inside. Basically it was pressing buttons, but yeah, it just didn't take off on its own. And naturally it's on autopilot. Yeah, it's on autopilot because of all the other star pilots as well. Kind of like a slave. Like if you know the lore, there's the slave, the slave devices where the ships will travel together. So it flies Anakin into space and up into battle. While this is all far-fetched, none of it bothers me. What bothers me is that somehow Anakin managed to pick the one starship to hide in that inexplicably has a tiny kid-sized helmet and goggles for him to wear when he goes into space. Just absurd. I don't know. Did you guys have a problem with that? I really didn't at all. And that doesn't look like it is a child size. The goggles look way bigger than his face. That's just how I see that. So what do you guys think? Let's see here. Let's see who's in the chat. And thank you for all 18 of you guys who are tuning in. Hopefully my internet connection's not making me sound robotic or underwater. Bringing Annie to the war zone is like when Han and Leia took Alana with them to Klaatuine during the slave revolt in The Fate of the Jedi. Where's Dick Kenobi? I don't know where he's at. Hopefully he shows up. If not, then that's fine. Oh, not that dumb take. Look at the helmet. It's an adult-sized helmet. It's also clear to the R2 why was flying the fighter for most of it. Correct. Let's see here. And yes, please hit the like button, you guys. Thank you for the continued support. I am always grateful to you all. All right, bangs head against the desk. How are you this stupid? And if you say there isn't any way he could survive, he was a pod racer, right? And he doesn't get into that. But yeah, thank you. You guys could thank SoulAssassin for sharing this with me. And I'm like, we're going to discuss this on Coffee Chat because, well, I want to see how the chat responds to this. Yeah, so here you go. So you can thank SoulAssassin for this one. All right, so let's move on to number 6. So here we go. This one right here, I don't know why he thinks this is a problem. It is not a problem because we know that Padme is a target because of episode 1. So here we go. Number 6. I guess I was wrong. There was no danger at all. Massive explosion. Yeah, people can be tricked. That's a possibility. So let's go on. Attack of the Clones begins where the Phantom Menace left off, with the bumbling Trade Federation trying and failing to kill our capture queen, now Senator Amidala. After she and her entourage sneaks into Coruscant, her head of security says, I guess I was wrong. There was no danger at all. Literally 1 second later, the senator's spaceship explodes along with her decoy. Personally, after a blunder like that, I might look into getting a new head of security. Not really, because they did check, but guess who's pulling all the strings? Palpatine. I'm pretty sure, I'm positive he knew that she was coming to Coruscant. He's the one that's pulling all the strings here. And if you haven't caught on to that, I'm sorry to say, I just don't know what to say about that, really. I don't know. I would say rewatch it, but you've already rewatched these shows and still don't get what's going on and how Palpatine's pulling the strings here. How Naboo, it was vital to everything, as well as Padme. Padme is the third protagonist in the show. So there you go. Let me see what you guys have to say about this one now. Let's see here. This article has no common sense. No, the person has no common sense. And then the Sentinel says, terrorists regularly are able to place bombs in places they want to blow up without anyone noticing. How hard is that to understand? Obviously, it's quite hard for this person. Okay, that one's just mean. And who says that they bombed it? They may have sabotaged it. Let's see here. I can fully believe this hack wouldn't understand why honest politicians would be assassinated, assassination targets. Yes. Hey, MJ1 Media, how are you doing? All right, so let's go ahead and push on through this article so we can go and then talk about Aing-Tii Monks and stuff. But I'm going to go ahead and check the poll real quick. So we are at Force Witches. So this is your favorite Force Society. So if you're coming in and you know about the Force Societies in Star Wars, I can only list 4. So sorry about that. So Force Witches are 67%. Fallen Nasi, 8%. Janissari, 12%. And they are tied with Barrandov Sages at 12%. So I'm going to let this go for another 8, 10, maybe 15 minutes. And then I will stop the poll. And we'll see who's the winner in that one. So a shape-shifting assassin covers her face. There's nothing wrong with that. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. This one is just sheer, I would say, beyond nitpicking. I do nitpick, but I would not even nitpick this. It's a preference. It's the person's preference. This has always irked me. The bomb in the spaceship trick didn't work, so Jango Fett hires an assassin to kill Senator Amidala. Basically, this assassin was hired by Dooku. Jango was just the person to help enact it, and he sent someone out. There's the pattern, there's the flow of authority right there on who really, and Dooku is in tandem with Palpatine. So there you go. So there's the paper trail on that. So the assassin wears a cloth mask over her nose and mouth, seemingly to disguise her identity. This sort of makes sense. A hired killer probably doesn't want to be identified by any potential witnesses. But after the second assassination attempt goes awry, too, and Obi-Wan and Anakin captures the assassin, Jango Fett kills her with some kind of poison dart. And which point the assassin reverts back to some kind of alien form. No, actually, her form disintegrates because of the poison. That poison basically disintegrates her body. The assassin, it seems, was a shapeshifter. Well, if you can change your face at will, why would you even need to hide it? Well, personally, again, this is her preference, but she is in human form. I didn't go into her species much, so those who know her species, she probably can't just change fully at will, and changing may also draw attention to her as well. But that's just my thoughts on that. You can just change yourself into a new face. This whole fun of shapeshifting. A shapeshifter wearing a mask is like a Superman deciding he's gonna start wearing a jetpack. Not really. That's not a great comparison. Um, so there you go. Let me see what you guys think about that. Yeah, she's called a Claudite. Yes. Let's see here. Oh, that jumped. Let's see here. Contract to cover ties and leads to the main person. Let's see here. Hide a disguise behind a disguise is called added security, right? Let's see here. And you guys are really jumping in this right here, and I appreciate your guys' comments here. Why is it okay to in a Bond movie but not in a Star Wars movie? I don't know. It's just he just wants reasons to not like the PTA. That's my conclusion here. Her species has to touch her new form to do so. I'm not sure if she can store it or not, but I'm sure it requires at least some effort. Yeah, there's always effort and stuff. Why does anyone wear clothes? Why does anyone wear a coat when it rains? uh Let's see. Oh my gosh, she covered her face to keep anyone from seeing her race change if she chooses to change it. There we go. So let's push on. Let's move on. And the roll in the grass, which, that's supposed to be some sort of like bonding love experience. And yeah, it kind of was a little cringe, but it wasn't bad at all. It doesn't break the story. It doesn't make the PT bad. Yes, as Anakin and Padme consummates their styled romance, he has an infamous line about how he hates sand because it's coarse and it gets everywhere. And while George Lucas's words are hardly poetry, the focus on the one goofy bit of dialogue has completely overshadowed a far more cringeworthy moment of their courtship when Anakin feigns energy and Padme rushes to his aid, and they giggle like school children while they roll around in the ground. Based on their ages in The Phantom Menace and the fact that Attack of the Clone takes place 10 years later, these people are both have to be in their early 20s. They're rolling around and giggling. Come on. First of all, Anakin knows nothing about courtship. The Jedi don't teach that because I see it as attachment, really. Like you developing a relationship like that is attachment. So of course he is going to be naive or innocent when it comes to this. And that young and playfully rolling around in the grass is not limited to age. So I don't think this person's ever gone through any love or romance in their lives. I mean, I'm not saying that this makes it perfect, this scene perfect, but come on now. This right here, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's not the best, but it's not bad. So let me see what you say about this. Honestly, Attack of the Clone is my least favorite because of Anakin's dialogue, but I'm not sure why people in their early 20s can't be happily in love. They can't do this any other time, so I'm sure it was exciting. Right. They are developing love. They're teasing each other. She's happy that he isn't injured. He faked it. Yeah, so there you go. Puts on armor. Okay, the sand is referencing to the fact that Anakin was a slave on the sand-covered dust ball of planet, like Padme, who had forest, water, and sand. Correct. And like I said, he doesn't know how to pull off lines because he's a Jedi. That's not their focus to teach them how to woo and court other people. So that was his awkward way of flirting and telling his circumstances and trying to relate with her. And so there's a point to that. Let me see here. They have to lie about their connection literally everywhere else they go except this one single time. It's why they are giddy. He's a Jedi, she's a senator. As if none of us have been in a relationship and had friends in relationships where they were overly affectionate to the point where they make other uncomfortable and cringe. Right. Yeah. There you go. So And then Doku can't. So here's one right here, and I'm excited to see what you guys think about this. Let me see. I don't want that to scroll down. It's going to do it. Let's see here. So this is the fight between on Grievous ship. I think no, is this Grievous ship? I think so. Let's see here. Oh no, this is in Attack of Clones still. Yeah, Attack of the Clones. So this is their fight after the Clone Wars had started. After the fight at Geonosis, in the hangar with Dooku. When Obi-Wan finds Count Dooku on Geonosis in Attack of the Clone, Dooku immediately and without provocation reveals the existence of Darth Sidious and his secret control of the Galactic Senate. Dooku claims he wants Obi-Wan to join him to root out corruption in the Senate and destroy the Sith. But of course, Count Dooku is the Sith, and he's working for the guy in the Senate doing corruption. So why did he reveal their plan to one of the few people in the entire galaxy who might be able to stop them? If he played it cool, Dooku could have outmaneuvered the Jedi and win the Clone Wars before they even started. Lose lips sink starships, Dooku. Actually, no. This they already they wanted to seduce Anakin to come to the dark side. And him revealing what he did has never sunk the ship at all. I thought it was brilliant of him to say, hey, we are here in front of your faces. And Darth Sidious is basically the one controlling. But no one knew who Darth Sidious is. They didn't know it was Palpatine. So he did not reveal anything. In fact, they didn't even know that Palpatine is Darth Sidious and that they were pulling the strings on both sides. So again, tell me you don't know much about the PT without telling me you don't know much about the PT. Let me see here. So let's see here. Dooku can't just stop talking because he's been told by Sidious. Right. They're trying to bait Kenobi. They're trying to seduce Anakin. There's a whole reason to that. So again, tell me you don't know nothing about the PT without telling me you don't know nothing about the PT. Dude, he's Christopher Lee. He also does want Kenobi to join him. He did ask him when he captured him in earlier, but then that was a lost cause. So this is after the fact. Dooku, on some level, view Kenobi as something like a grandson because of Qui-Gon. Yeah, he's seen him more superior logistically and morally, I guess you can say, if you want to use the term morally. Which I'm talking about Obi-Wan, over Anakin. So he's still seen Anakin as immature, not well developed, and he and all of that. So let me go ahead and see what the Sentinel has to say. Dooku never wanted to avoid the Clone Wars. He needed them to happen because that's the way they'd be able to kill off all the Jedi. No war, no clones, no Order 66. This idiot is a shill, correct. And follow OG on Twitter. Thank you so much. All right, so let's go on. So this person doesn't realize that the Clone Wars is basically, no matter which side would win, Order 66 was going to happen, right? So they had control of both sides. Like Sidious had control of both sides. This person does not understand the plot. Okay, so it explains a lot. So here we go. Now this is so funny. I had to laugh at this. An alien conveniently gives Natalie Portman a bare midriff. Anakin and Padme head to Geonosis to rescue Obi-Wan, but they screw the whole thing up. Get captured, so by getting captured, and wind up at the mercy of some crazy aliens in the middle of the giant gladiator arena. One of these alien creatures slashes Padme across the torso, so that's the Nexu, which creates the most perfect bare midriff. Nope, it's not the most perfect. In fact, it is basically like off-centered, and you can see, and all that. So, and I guess the movie with two young lovers literally rolling around in the grass together needed a bit more sex appeal. Not really, but that's what happened. Her top got slashed from the Nexu. And basically, it's off at an angle. It's not the perfect midriff. And that happens. Now, would you want for the midriff to be sliced off at her tits, so her boob show? I don't know. So here we go. Let me see what you guys have to say about this stupid take. The Sith could beat the Jedi in a 2 versus thousands of Jedi in a straight up fight, but you spread them out across the galaxy, or they couldn't. Sorry, the galaxy. You can eliminate them with the clones. Correct. Okay. This guy is definitely a male feminist, right? Let's see here. Showing midriff, hashtag scoundrel. And there is an image here. Let me see if I could pull it up on my computer, because I did save an image of her after the fact. There we go. Let me see here. Where is it? Let me pull that up. And I'll show you this, and then we'll move on with the article, because I will show you guys, and you guys probably already know this, and probably really don't need it as evidence, but I just want to bring it on for any viewers that come on and want to talk shit, because I've been having that. Let me see here. Whoops, I got rid of the article, but oh well. Let's see here. Hello, you guys. How you doing? Okay. Let's see here. Window, and here we go. So we have this right here. Is that a perfect cutoff of a midriff to you guys? Seriously, is that, when I think of a perfect midriff, I think of a seam and it evenly be cutting across the waist, where one side, like both sides are even with each other and stuff. Yeah. So there we go. So let me bring the article back up. All right. And again, press the like button. Check out the merch. Okay. Wrong one. So here we go. Baby Boba Fett. I will confess that until I rewatched the prequels, I had forgotten that Boba Fett, arguably the most beloved anti-hero in all of Star Wars, was revealed in the movies to have been an exact clone of his father, Jango Fett. The explanation given in Attack of the Clones of these even qualifies as an explanation. It does qualify as an explanation, is that Jango agreed to be the genetic template for the Republic's clone army in exchange for receiving one clone himself as payment. He also received money for it, and he got to train. There was a whole huge deal behind that. And then he was also chosen because he was a Mandalorian. He knew how to fight the Jedi for his fighting skills as well as his tactical skills, because he's a bounty hunter as well. Jango then raises the kid versus version of him as his son. And of course we know that Boba calls him dad. This is beyond strange. Actually, no, it is not beyond strange. Why would a bounty hunter want the responsibility of being a father? And if he did, why would he chose this route to have one? Because bounty hunters can have families in the lore. It was a way to shoehorn Boba Fett into this trilogy. Not really, it just opened up his origins even more, but not in a way that was organic or furthered the story in any way. How was it not organic? And it just made his dad look like a major weirdo. Not really whatsoever, but let's go ahead and take a look at the chat here. I want to see what you guys have to say. Antihero. This walking monkey lizard just needs to shut up. Let's see here. And does this complaint, or does the complaint, this is beyond strange, count as a argument in the complete science fiction world? This isn't our world. This is a galaxy far, far away. Correct. And let's see here. Boba was Jester's legacy, and Boba being this was with his dad on missions as part of the Mandalorian lifestyle, part of his warrior training. But he probably has, from the looks of it, he probably hasn't read the EU and know the story. But without that, this wasn't a ham-fisted kind of scenario. This was basically giving us, more lore behind the Fets. There we go. let me see here. And the animal that attacks Padme becomes Alana's pet later and saves her, right? So she gets a Nexu. So there's a little bit of history there going on. And let's go ahead and take a look at the poll here, and it's going to close now. So here we have it. Favorite Force societies, Force witches win at 69%, Fallen Nazi 8%, and Janissari and Barando Sages are tied at 12%. Thank you guys for voting. We will get into that lore here pretty soon with the Aing-Tii Monks. So let's go ahead and move on. So I think we're going to just finish up here. I think this is the last one. No? Oh, yeah, here we go. Oh my God, this is taking longer than I wanted it to. So I don't know if we want to go on any further, but I'll just go through here real quick. Number 12, begun the Clone Wars has. So he thinks that this is cringe as well. Yoda gravely announces that the Jedi victory is utterly hollow because of the dark side is on the rise of the galaxy. Begun the Clone Wars has, he says. But how did he know it's called the Clone Wars? Because of the clones they have. Because of the clones they have. That's what he chose to call it. Why not the Separatist War or the Confederation War or just war without a fancy title? The only explanation is that Yoda has seen the original Star Wars. Oh my God. That's such... that is such a cringe take. And he knows that the movie Obi-Wan tells Luke, no, it's because that's in the lore about the Clone Wars, not because, oh yeah, he knows. Oh my God, you guys. Okay, I'm scrolling down. I will check what you guys have to say about this in a few minutes. I'm going to check right now. I'm like just done with this. Oh my God. 69 Nights. I don't know what that one's about. Okay. Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, Clone Wars sounds better than Droid War. Oh my God. Okay. What a stupid effing take. Number 13, Palpatine gets reverse facelift. So he cringes because of this. One of the things about Star Wars prequels is that generally works, or at least works better than the rest of the stuff in the movies, is the way they depict the slow erosion of the democracy at the hands of the power-hungry autocrat. In the series, not exactly known for its subtlety, some of subtlety or whatever. I'm like speech impediment going on here. Fuck. Some of Palpatine's maneuvers and machinations are actually kind of clever. But nearly the end of the Revenge of the Sith gets zapped with his own Force lightning, and for some reason it gives him a hideous, wrinkled, puffy face. And then he starts walking around in the ominous cloaks and speaking in a voice that makes him sound like Satan himself. And he's making grand pronouncements that the Jedi who have been a force, for good in the galaxy for centuries are now traitors and must be exterminated en masse. No one gives any of this a second thought. Well, if you really know the story, he basically records and shares with the Senate that this was a plot, that the war, that the clones were summoned and made by the Jedi, which shares in the attack of the clone on who ordered the clones, right? And so this is a huge setup he does. And also, it's showing his true form as a Sith. This right here, his face was destroyed by the lightning, yes, because of Mace's deflection with the sword, the lightsaber. And also, this is showing his true form, his yellow eyes, because he's Sith. And so basically, this is unmasking. This is called the unmasking. And after that, he stays mysterious. He stays away from the limelight as the Emperor. And he blames the Jedi, too, for his deformation of his face. All of this was a setup and well thought out. So again, tell me you know nothing about Star Wars without telling me. Now, this one right here, I think a lot of fans can disagree or agree on here about this right here. And I'm not going to read the thing here. I'm just going to talk about it. But George could have made this a lot better. But we know that from the Force choke and the loss of faith, the loss of love, the loss of hope, all of this, you know, basically brought on her will to live, like cease the will to live kind of deal. And again, this could have been well fleshed out better by George and told better by George, and I think we all can agree about this. And that yes, the forced choking basically also was another purpose to her death as well. So but that did not break the story. And then again, no. So a lot of people didn't like this one as well, and we can all agree to that, but it doesn't break the story at all. So there we go. So we come to an end on this. So let me see what you guys have to say. Laugh out loud. So that seals it. He's clueless. He hasn't ever had the debate about whether that Palpatine's true face or the became his face. Otherwise, he would enjoy that scene for the debate it offers. Right. Star Wars joke. What's the name of Jar Jar Binks' aunt? Jar Jar Mima. Okay, thank you for that. Should have called it Jar Jar War. Let's see here. And then Palpatine was always always the disguise, right? He had that cloak on. He had that cloak on as well. He hid himself in the Force. He fogged the Jedi's perception in the Force, and also that also muddied their Force abilities and the way they're seen in the Force, the future, and all that. There's a lot Palpatine did there. Was Mace Windu redirecting the Sith lightning part of Vapad? Yes, it was part of Vapad and part of part of Vapad, and using his lightsaber and stuff. In fact, I was going to clip that and share it on an EU short here soon from the Audible novelization to that. So stay tuned for that, Bama. I will share it on Twitter once I clip it and share it as an EU short. But yes, it's part of Vapad. But a part of that was also because of that stepping on that fine line close to the dark side, he was able to redirect it with Vapad, like with the Force through Vapad, because you can even deflect lightning with your saber without going into Vapad as well. So that was an interesting history evolution of Vapad and how it's used and how it can take you to the dark side, and how that also helped redirect the lightning itself. Debbie Reynolds, perfect example of death by a broken heart, right? And Padme dying was recently been settled. Sidious was using her life force to keep Vader alive. That's why they happened at the same time. I can't remember which writer put that out, but it's official. Is that in the new canon? Because I don't recall it being in the original. I wouldn't say new canon. I guess you could say new canon, but it's not really canon. But I wouldn't say that it's in the official lore. Not that I can remember, but those who can, please let me know. Correct me if I'm wrong. And one MJ1. I admit I prefer George's initial plan for Padme to die when Leia was 3 or 4 years old on Alderaan mysteriously, right? But it didn't happen. He chose that route. I know that's a big thing to say about Padme's death without much evidence, but I know one of them said that in the last couple of months to combat the whole Padme had kids to live for thing. It might be. Please hit the like button. Consider becoming a channel member. Yes, I agree. Every support helps, and you do get to earn some wonderful stuff as being a channel member. I haven't done a channel member live stream in a very, very long time. I had circumstances that happened in my life that kind of slowed production down here on the channel, and I do want to do a channel member live stream only. So maybe I'll order some more stickers and we'll have a little drawing. We'll just nerd out about Star Wars and maybe a particular topic. Maybe I'll have you guys vote on that we can talk about, and so on and so forth. So we'll see what happens. The Sentinel says, I don't understand the criticism of Padme dying because of heartbreak. It happens to old widows with their husbands when their husbands die. Them dying months after their spouses is a common occurrence. Yeah, I didn't really have it wasn't a big deal for me, but I understand why some people think it's cringe. Vapad, damn, lost all. Let me go ahead and slow down. Vapad, damn, lost of stuff I didn't know, or lots of stuff I didn't know. Just love Star Wars. Might forget latter. Okay. Yep, new canon. Okay, yeah. I'm not talking about new canon here. Our faux lore. The life force thing doesn't make sense. So using her life force to save Anakin's, he isn't dying. He wasn't dying at the time. He was still alive. So that doesn't make sense. Have you ever read Cloak of Deception? What did you think of it? I should do a review. I like some of it. Yeah. So some stuff I'm like, but it's good. It's good. I mean, not my favorite, but okay, so MJ1 says, O.G.Starwars, I know about life messing with content, or recently got my social media hacked and have been struggling to get it back. Yes, that's crazy. And I'm sorry that you had to go through that. I've known quite a few people that have suffered from hacked, IGs or Facebooks or what have you. Let's see. Hey, O.G.Starwars, Michael Jackson called. He wants to know, is Annie okay? Annie, are you okay? Annie, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? Okay, no. To hear Anakin, Anakin did die. She saw a Darth Vader responsible for killing him, and when she realized that the man she loved would never come back, it was too much for her heart to take even with children. Right? Yep. Life force transference isn't that out of possible, but Obi-Wan should have felt it. He was present. The thing is, Anakin wasn't dying. Like, his body wasn't dying. He wasn't dying at the time. He still was alive. They had to repair him stuff, but he wasn't dying. He wasn't like on the brink of death, as far as I seen it. So that doesn't make sense to me. Let's see here. I mean, it's even in the script, Anakin, you're breaking my heart. Again, it's George being earnest. Right. I agree. And it fits into overall tone of the prequels he was going for. Correct. Yeah, I know it's different. The claim is that Palpatine was keeping him alive and he would have died eventually. But see, the thing is, with the new lore, if he was doing that with Padme using her Force essence, he would know exactly where she was at by sensing where she's at, which is a big plot hole. So that's something to think about right there. They just create another big plot hole. Well, according to Disney, Anakin could have force healed Padme, right? Let's see here. Hello there. Hello, Kathy Skywalker. How are you doing? Thanks for joining. So we're going to switch gears here now and talk. You know what? There's one thing I wanted to go through, but I still want to talk about the Aing-Tii Monks a little bit. So I don't know which one to do first. Annie needs to make like Michael Jackson and beat it. You're on a roll, sir. All right. Let's see here. So let's go ahead and do away with this crazy article. And I thought that this would be fun to see how much you guys would cringe. And SoulAssassin, I'm pretty sure he is very proud of sharing this one as well to make all of us cringe. So congratulations and well done, sir. Well done on sharing this article with us and bringing light to the BS on why people think the PT is bad. Those are not reasons to think the PT is bad. Let's see here. And then MJ1 Media, you too. Let's see here. Let's see here. And this baby would have helped Padme. Oh, Lord, let's not go there. Now you are now on a roll, sir. All right, let's see here. Let me close one window out here. Let's get rid of this one here. Hello. Oh, my hair is kind of messy. Kind of woke up with bedhead. I just brushed through it real quick and got ready and put my face on a little bit. And here we go, because it's morning time. And so a little bit of bedhead. Sometimes bedhead can be kind of sexy, but maybe not today. All right. So I have everything I need here, but basically the Aing-Tii Monks, and you know what? I closed out the window I didn't want to close out. And so I'm going to pull that back up. So let me know what you know about the Aing-Tii Monks and where did you first hear about them? One common book I'm going to bring up, or novel, is where you may have heard about them. And it's a Timothy Zahn, and I'm not going to give the name, so you might know what I'm talking about. But let's go ahead and take a look at this video here. Where is it? I'm going to go ahead and bring it up on screen. Wouldn't that be funny if I get my own copyright strike? Okay, stop. There we go. On my own video for sharing it. All right, let's go ahead and share this video. So we're going to get into Aing-Tii Monks here. And I'm going to go ahead and put the video on the screen here so that we could take a look. Share screen. Let's see here. All right, so that's my share screen little tone there. So I don't know if that was entertaining to you guys or not. So I apologize. So the Aing-Tii monks were a reclusive species who are mostly force sensitive. And if you see the thumbnail cover to this video, you will see what they look like. And basically, they're the Force Society of the Aing-Tii, where they were monks who lived near the Cathal Rift. Um, they also were not many people knew about them, and the spacers who did only hinted about their existence because they were a force to be reckoned with, and they hated slavers. So if they knew of slavers, they didn't care. They would destroy slavers. So they hated them with a passion, basically. And their ships were Sagara shaped. And so Sagara basically is the word for like cigar or cigarette in Star Wars, with glyphs and symbols. So basically there's a lot of story and lore that they shared on their ships as well. So if you ever witness a ship, it had, like the glyphs and symbols to their culture. The Aing-Tii monks believed events were not predetermined but guided. So they had a different philosophy. They viewed the Force differently than the Jedi, where the Jedi and the Sith seen the Force as in the Aing-Tii monks seen them as a rainbow or multiple colors, basically, a best way to describe. That's how they described it. And and the Jedi knew of the Aing-Tii monks, but and Yoda, of course, particularly knew about them. And George Cardass, and if you read Outbound Flight, you would know the beginning of his lore there. But he was imprisoned and taken by dark Jedi. They made their way to Dagobah, where they met Yoda. Yoda was in exile during that time. Yoda fought and killed, basically destroyed them. And George Cardass was left with barely his life. And Yoda basically force healed him. And through the force healing Yoda did, George Cardass basically life was enhanced, where he was had quick thinking and all of that. And he then took advantage of that and used his I guess you could say special gifts from the force healing, or the special enhancements from the force healing, and took advantage of that. And then because he did, his life started deteriorating. And then he went back to Yoda, and Yoda was like, you mishandled the gifts given to you, and so there's nothing I can do about it. And if you want to live, you need to go see the Aing-Tii monks, and they'll help you. And so George Cardass went and sought them out and lived with them, learned by them. And there's that part of the story. And then also Jason Solo spent years learning from them as well. So let's go ahead and listen to this video, and you'll get more information about them here too.
The Aing-Tii have an understanding of the Force, but it's a different understanding from that of the Jedi. Or perhaps it's merely a different aspect of the Force that they relate to. I'm not really sure which. Yoda couldn't heal me, you see. Or rather, didn't have the time the task would require. He told me he needed to prepare for what he said was possibly the most important instruction he had had for the past 100 years.
Card nodded. Another piece of the puzzle falling into place.
Luke Skywalker. Was it him?
Cardass asked.
I've always suspected that, but was never able to confirm he actually trained on Dagobah. The Aing-Tii have an...
All right, so there you go. So basically, he was sent off to get healing and his life renewed by the Aing-Tii. And then through that, the Aing-Tii is like basically saying, if you're going to be with us, you're going to learn all about this, and it's going to be a continued lifelong lesson. And it's going to be your life way from now on. And then also Yoda, and this is a very important pivotal key to Yoda right here, because Yoda's like, I can't train you. I'm preparing for the most, the biggest task I've ever had within 100 or over 100 years. And basically, I was training Luke Skywalker. So nice little bit of like share with Yoda. He did not go off of Dagobah, and this doesn't break continuity to Yoda's exile, and it just enhances and gives us further story to why there's dark side essence on Dagobah as well. And so there you go. So what do you guys think about that? So the Aing-Tii monks are basically unique species. There's so many different species of our species, our force societies of the force, and so I'm going to make it a deal to go through each of them for coffee chat as much as possible. And other force societies, like I said, are the ones that you guys voted on. We also have, let me go ahead and get all this in front of me, because some of them I don't personally know right off the top of my head. But we have the followers of the Palawa, the sorcerers of Tund. And again, I'm not going to talk about the history of the species, but there's the history of the society that the species are in, and who they invite in the Barrando sages. The Mekrosa order, the Krath, the Isana, the prophets of the dark side, which maybe we'll cover next week, the Zaisan Shah, Janissari, the Qurani, the Aing-Tii monks, the Matukai, the Force Witches, and let's see here, the Disciples of Ragnos, the Reborn, the Shadow Academy, the Fallen Nasi. So those are some of the Force societies that are in the lore. And again, so this is a great time to, I could do 4 lore videos, which I want to do on them as well. There's so much I want to do. And just the recent events that caused my last phone to get destroyed. I've lost a couple of videos in production. And so I was kind of like discouraged by that, because there was a couple of huge videos coming out for you guys that I lost off of that phone, because I do a lot of editing on that phone, because there's a phone app that I really love and really use. I've really got accustomed to using, and it's quick and easy for me, and it's effective. So I'm sorry about that with no lore and other videos coming out. But I do anticipating having more for you guys. So there's a lot of great lore out there that's just outside of the Jedi, Sith, the Republic, the Empire, that goes deep into the Force and gives us Force societies who view the Force in very different than the Jedi and the Sith as well. And I think it's something that would broaden your guys' horizons and your knowledge with the Star Wars lore that I don't think Star Wars now could possibly do. So let me see what you guys have to say about this. Let's see here. Not sure. I need like a cliff note or visual aid for the High Republic, because I keep forgetting who is who. Let's see here. A lot of those Force groups date back to the Old Republic, right? They have their history there. Please hit the like button. Yes. And it says, I wonder how far back do the Fallen Nasi go? Is there an answer for that? Yes, there is. Let me go ahead and get that for you as well. Let's see here. The Fallen Nasi, they are a group of Force sensitives that live on a planet, and they go back. Doesn't specifically say but they go back and back towards the Old Republic era and stuff. So we'll get into more of that. I'm not going to go in depth search of that right now, but we'll go more into that as well. And so a little bit more history about the antique monks, Aing-Tii. The Jedi Order had learned of the Aing-Tii monks at the time of the Rusan Reformation, and the species received an entry into the Jedi training manual, the Jedi Path. So there you go. So the Jedi Path has special, note of the Aing-Tii monks as well. And the Aing-Tii monks themselves were indifferent towards the Jedi. Sometime before the Battle of Yavin, and Jedi Master Yoda sent George Cardass, so we have that information here. and I just, basically gave you that information about that as well. So there's like there was I wouldn't say a conflict, but because they seen the Force differently than the Jedi, and they see it in a more broader range than the Jedi, um, there was a bit of conflict, a bit of indifference, and one of their main Force powers that they had was the flow walk. And if you're familiar with that, especially with Jason Solo's exploration of the Force, and being a student under the Aing-Tii Monks, you would know information about flow walk, and I'm going to go ahead and share a little bit about that as well with you guys here. So how many know about the flow walk? So share in the comments with me if you're familiar with that and Jason's story behind that. Let's see here. Flow walk. All right. Let me go ahead and find where I'm at. So let's see here. And then, so what locks is flow walk is too cool. Yes. So basically what flow walk is basically you learn to send yourself forward or backwards in time as an observer to what's going on in the events. And you don't interfere. If you do, that may have repercussions, but eventually the Force basically course corrects as well. So so there was do's and don'ts with flow walk, and this isn't basically a time travel per se, because you're only observer in that. And so people can argue that of it, like, oh, that's a way of them using time travel. No, because that's just going past or present, and taking your force and observing. And it's similar to just having a Force vision or having meditation to look forward or look into the future, like Luke has done. So, but this is slightly different than that, but it is not like, going and time traveling whatsoever. Jason learned to flow walk after the Vong War. His sabbatical, correct. He did, so that's a great example of using a sort of time travel without compromising any of the stories, because it's even said in the lore that you can't really manipulate anything as well. So there you go. So the worlds between worlds and flow walk, I wouldn't say they're completely the same whatsoever. So there you have it. Let's see here. And then you can use it to inform your decisions in the present. You aren't supposed to change anything. Right. And Jason did try to change. He did try to change events that happened regarding his daughter, Alana. And that's what made him go Sith. That's what made him his decision on the direction he went, basically, and his actions. And he never regretted it whatsoever. But however, it didn't change. It just prolonged, because when you look into the lore, when you get into legacy, Crate still goes in, into ruling the galaxy. He still goes into power. We don't know what happened to Alana, because the time frame, like the buyout of Star Wars, as they started developing legacy towards the legacy comics and that story arc, got canceled. So we don't know exactly what happened to Alana. So we don't know exactly if, maybe she was destroyed by Darth Krayt. And then even her descendant, what I would say is Anaya, you know, um, maybe he destroyed the Hapes consortium, and maybe that's what made Anaya a outcast and on her own and stuff. And I'm guessing that Anaya Solo basically is Alana's descendant. So who knows? I'm just going into what ifs, trying to map this to maybe that's the direction they're going. So let me know. It says, no world between world here. I agree. That is BS right there. Verger had a little bit to do with that too. She helped, she sent him on his way into the dark side. through the torture and the mind manipulation. And also what Jason learned as well with the Force, his learning more and exploring more about the Force in his sabbatical. And Batu says, like when Gisela used it to escape the temple when she went rampant, it's almost like foresight. Yeah, she was being controlled by Abeloth during that time without the expense of the moment, right? There you go. So there's a little bit of history there. So the Aing-Tii Monks is basically, and we see the lore and continuity tie-ins with the introduction of the Aing-Tii Monks. And so they first appeared in, let me see here. I didn't write it down. First appearance was the Galaxy's Edge, the Kalath Outback. Let me see. And this is the original lore. This isn't the faux lore. That is a source book, I guess you can say. And from that they expanded from that. And we have them also, going in the novels, Visions of the Future, the New Jedi Order, Agents of Chaos, they were mentioned. Dark Nest 1, the Joiner King they were mentioned. Legacy of the Force, Bloodlines mentioned. Legacy of the Force, Tempest. So these are all basically almost every single one of the books in Legacy of the Force. They were mentioned, are discussed, because Luke is trying to figure out what was going, like why Jason turned and why he didn't see it. And so his exile, yes, Luke went into exile. It was well done. He didn't give up on the Jedi, though, and that's the difference with that versus the Disney lore, is that he didn't give up on the Jedi even after his exile. His whole mission was to keep the Order intact, to learn how to recognize Jedi going to the dark side, to learn what Jason went through, because Jason didn't give a full report of his sabbatical. And so that left a lot of confusion and stuff with Luke as well. But he didn't give up. That's the main point. He did not give up. And so there we go. Let me see. I honestly love the character of Vergere. I know it's off topic. She's just one of my favorite characters. Awesome. Maybe one day I'll do a lore video or we'll discuss Vergere as well. We went into Sith lore, and now we're going into other societies, and then maybe we'll go into a little bit more about the Jedi, or the beginning of the Jedi, since that's one thing that's hardly discussed in topics of Star Wars, and going all the way back to the Tales of the Jedi and all of that. And continue along the path of the Force, the societies, all the people, all the Force sensitive that play a pivotal role in the Force and in the galaxy, that influence the galaxy, because the Force is a major influence of the galaxy. It's what gives life, right? So those who are Force sensitive and are trained to use the Force are major influences within the galaxy itself, and which leads to corruption like the Sith. So it's a very exciting aspect of the Star Wars lore to get into, and gets outside of the Jedi versus Sith kind of arc, and explore the Force societies. Let's see here. And exactly, not to run and hide out of the misplaced shame and weaknesses. Yeah, so there you go. And so we're going to go ahead and start closing it out. But I wanted to share one thing here, and this goes into the rematch of the century. I did another video about further discussing it. Was a live stream. I was just so sick and tired of some BS that I see occurring, and I shared more evidence to there was no fight in between episode 3 and 4. And so I want to go ahead and share this comment here, and we can kind of dissect it as well. So let me go ahead and pull that up. And I shared it on Twitter, so if you haven't seen it, then maybe you don't know what I'm talking about, and that's fine. But let me go ahead and get into this here. Where is it? All right. And this is off of my video called Let's Chat. Disney Lucasfilm and Associates are dishonest, Obi-Wan Kenobi series. So I went ahead, and that's the title of it. And I'm going to go ahead and share this comment in its entirety. I'm not going to share my reply because I'm just going to give another part of my reply here. I thought it was funny and such an awful take as well. And let me go back to this. All right, so it's the full screen. I'm still here with you guys. Here we go. So this is the person here, Tony, just because Lucas didn't tell a story doesn't mean it didn't happen. Laugh out loud. What terrible reasoning. Lucas didn't write any of the legends you love that mean none of that happened. So I don't know exactly what his take is here. He may not have written, but he did contribute and did ghostwrite a few things in it. But he also was involved by planning, helping plan it, at least vetoing and giving approval of plots that may affect the lore alongside with the movies, to even having involvement and say in arcs of the plots and characters, including Anakin Skywalker's grandchildren. And Obi-Wan never once tries to turn Anakin back to the light side in Revenge of the Sith. Do your research and watch the movie. I never said Obi-Wan was trying to redeem Anakin in this video. What I did state is that Obi-Wan thought at one point when he first came out of the ship and they had their conversation, that he could possibly help steer Anakin back into the right direction. There's a difference between thinking, oh, well, he's stepping across that line. Maybe I can turn him around and he can snap out of it versus, fully, redeeming someone who's fully in the dark side. So that was my disclaimer there. And Obi-Wan, if he was there to redeem, that takes away from Luke's arc, which I highly disagree with. So he wasn't trying to redeem. Lucas wanted Boba Fett to blow up Jango's helmet in an episode of the Clone Wars. Filoni said, "Isn't that the helmet he wear in Empire Strikes Back?" And Lucas told him not to be so precious about those things. That has nothing to do with what I was stating here, other than showing that a development that never happened. So I don't know his point here. There simply isn't any lines or quotes from the movie saying Obi-Wan and Vader only fought once. If there was, you'd show them and call it a day. No. Basically, when you look into the development of Mustafar fight and the Death Star fight, the development, George based Mustafar fight off of what was said, their conversation on the Death Star. So everything that they say on the Death Star in their confrontation before Obi-Wan becomes a Force ghost, basically is what built the fight on Mustafar. So what they're talking about is basically their interaction in Revenge of the Sith. When you get into the OT novelizations, they refer back to their last fight being on the lava planet, which at the time didn't have a name, but the PT gave it a name. So there you go. And then when you refer back to like the data bank and other documents, like even verbiage in the novelizations, it all refers back to their last duel, and that Obi-Wan and Anakin, or Obi-Wan and Vader, never seen each other for decades as well. So that's telling you there was no other fights. And even in the development of the lore behind Obi-Wan Kenobi in the original lore, the Lucasfilm did not want any adventures of Obi-Wan, that he settled down on Tatooine and is now protecting Luke. So that was adamantly expressed towards the authors regarding Obi-Wan Kenobi. So there's a lot of evidence, and the context, there was context. We all knew growing up that the context was referring to their fight on Mustafar. A lot of people nowadays use this as evidence that they fought again because they didn't specifically share that they fought on Mustafar. No, it's about the context. They're not going to say, oh yeah, back on Mustafar when I kicked your ass, kind of deal. They're not going to say something like that. George was still developing the story, didn't have a name of the lava planet yet. So there you go. Do you know when Lucas first came up with the concept, the duel, Darth Vader was a separate character named Darth Vader who killed Father Skywalker before Obi-Wan fought him, right? He didn't have a story and concept of Anakin calling to the dark side back in 1976. That has nothing to do with that, because still there was a fight between Vader and Obi-Wan on the lava planet. And then he decided to make Darth Vader Anakin Skywalker. So that has nothing to do with anything other than it shares that George had a concept and he evolved that concept into what we see now. The data bank is not canon source. This is funny. The data bank is not canon source, you clown. It's just records or records the current canon. So it's not canon source, but it records the current canon. So look at right here. Look at the little spin he's trying to put on here, which tells me it's canon. It's canon past and present. Once it's added to, the data bank will change. Yeah, they will retcon it. That's called a retcon. That's called changing the lore. Before The Last Jedi came out, to do think the data bank described Luke's death. Oh, look at his mistype there, whatever. You meant your mental gymnastics to cover up I was but a learner line are funny as how. Anakin was full on Jedi Knight war hero on the council. He wasn't a learner at all. Well, this person doesn't realize that a Jedi Knight is still learning. The next step is becoming a master. A next step is basically you are honed in. You have the mental capacity to become a knight and stuff. And he also seen himself as Obi-Wan's learner still, that he's seen Obi-Wan in that respect as well. And also another point is that before their fight on Mustafar, Anakin pledged to be a Sith apprentice. And so when he left, basically when he decided not to be Obi-Wan's learner and understudy basically and become a Sith, that's when he left Obi-Wan. And so then he became a Sith apprentice, a learner. And then when they finally meet on the Death Star, he now sees him as a master, which is a prideful thing, which is a Sith thing as well. So there we go. And then let me see here. Yes, that was a huge part of Kenobi's journey in the light. It was a big part of Luke's story to prove Kenobi and Yoda wrong about his father. It's why Luke is so important, correct? All right, let me go ahead and go back to that. Let's see here. Surely he must be dead by now shows that Tarkin doesn't know for a fact that Obi-Wan died decades ago. Your own quote disproves your point. Laugh my ass off. Such a clown. Their fire means their influence, their strength. Not every single Jedi, as it's clear Tarkin only assumed Obi-Wan would be dead. Laugh my. Actually, no. So I will go further on that. So Tarkin, if you know the lore, you know the history, Tarkin knew more than Vader on a lot of things. And that's what frustrated Vader. The chain of command, Tarkin was above Vader in a lot of points and a lot of things. And then what Vader knew, Tarkin knew as well. Tarkin's not stupid. Tarkin didn't come in to be a Moff and under Palpatine's hand. Basically, he wasn't his hand, but another person that Palpatine could rely on. For being stupid and not knowing. In fact, I think even Tarkin knew of the hands, and other things more so than Vader. Vader knew of the hands. Yeah, I know that. But what my point is that he knew a lot more than Vader did. And that's what frustrated Vader at some points. If you get into the lore, you would know that. And then so basically he says, you are the last of the religion, shares with me that basically Tarkin knew they wiped out, that more than likely Obi-Wan is dead because there was no contact. If there was contact between Vader and Obi-Wan, Tarkin would know by then. He's not stupid. He knows. He is in the know. And so let's go on. Lucas himself intended Darth Vader to be the name of Obi-Wan's student who killed Lucas's father. Yeah, we all know that, but then that's the intention changed. Clearly things could be added to the story later. Nor did Lucas ever say they only fought twice. Actually, he did say they only fought twice, and that's in the development of the story, their fight from Mustafar to the Death Star, as that's what his intentions were, and the company followed suit. Or you would show the quote instead of reading Tarkin's quote that disprove your story theory. It does not disprove it whatsoever. It lends to proof on the direction that George Lucas was going, in the development George Lucas was going. I'm going to share that before we go on. It is funny seeing you cry. I don't think I was crying that. So he has a weird way of seeing what crying is. Yeah, that's odd. That's funny how they go and use that. Oh, quit your crying. So he has a weird way of seeing what crying is. So let me see here. So as he says, it's funny to see you cry that their show doesn't match your fan fiction. I'm not basing anything off of fan fiction. I'm basing things off of facts. Obi-Wan's meeting Vader doesn't break the lore, and Obi-Wan potentially saving Anakin would be in exceptional circumstances. If Obi-Wan saved Anakin, that breaks the lore. But also with the intentions and the development, and even if you watch Open Airlock Policy's video, Hayden and Ewan McGregor even talk that they tied up the ends between Empire or A New Hope and Revenge of the Sith with their duel, they're making everything full circle, meaning there was no fight in between, tying up both ends, no fight in between. All right, so let's go ahead and go on. How do you know they didn't ask Lucas if having them have another fight was okay? And he said yes, it was fine, because they would have bragged about it. They always go into appeal to authority fallacies when they decide to want to use George as evidence to why they're going in the direction that they go into. So, and they didn't state that they talked with George. That would have been in the interviews that we have been seeing coming out. That would have been bragged about first thing. Chow was the one that decided. She didn't say, oh, I got permission from George, or, oh, I spoke to George, blah, blah, blah. She's like, I wanted to do it. So basically there was no interaction with George. And in fact, George has no say in it. And he's even said he's lost control of Star Wars, which is seller's remorse. Legends EU wasn't George's canon or his stories. He stated at Tribeca 2015 that the EU, the novels, including the grandkids, are a part of the saga. And then Rothman also stated, I don't have the information, like the correct date in front of me, but basically he also stated that everything that's being produced, and this is way before 2015, everything that's produced is part of the saga. The novels and everything is a part of the saga as well. It may not be his stories as he told in the films, but he was involved with the EU. Everything we see in the EU was approved by him. He wanted. If he didn't want it, and he didn't want it part of the lore, his lore, the saga, it wasn't licensed, it wasn't publicized or published, it wasn't produced as a game, what have you. I can't take any more of the stupidity. I'm sure the remaining half hour are full of dumb, baseless comments and idiotic commentary. So there you go. So he's just full of ad hominems here. He already lost ground. Basically, he's just sharing opinion here. He wants to be insulting because he wants this fight to happen. He wants this fight to happen. So let's see here. Luke did more than they could have dare hoped. Let's see here. Please consider becoming a channel member. Thank you so much. They wanted Luke to confront Vader and kill him. They couldn't imagine any other possible path. Right, because they didn't believe in redemption. They didn't believe in redemption. Let's see here. Yoda and Obi-Wan gave up on Annie. Luke didn't. Correct. Let me see here. Was there a story with Tarkin with Palpatine used his family or something? I don't know. I didn't get too much into Tarkin's lore, but there's that Tarkin novel that was supposed to be part of the original EU that they decided to put into their canon, and so they changed the story up. So if you read that, I wouldn't say that's canon to George's story. My response to the comment is ability to speak does not make you intelligent, Qui-Gon. There you go. And it says, if the top Jedi like Yoda and Comey couldn't imagine someone being redeemed in the light, then the dogma had gone too far. Correct. And that's where Yoda recognized that in the Revenge of the Sith novelization. So that is a great aspect to Yoda realizing that he was wrong by not evolving the Jedi. So that's a great story arc right there. So if you haven't read the novel, please go read it. Audible is unabridged, I believe. So go ahead and listen to it if you don't have much time to sit and read. However, I recommend reading first. Let me see here. Let me see what else you guys have to say. Let's see here. Whoops. I hate when that happens. Exactly. Not to run and hide of misplaced shame and weakness. Oh, you guys are talking about Jake Skywalker? Honestly, I love the character of Verger. Okay, so I already read all that. I'm trying to get back. All right, so Vader was truly evil in Empire Strikes Back. His motives for torturing Luke was pure selfishness, using his familial connection to his own benefit. At the time, there was no redemption for Vader yet. Correct. So there we go. So that's just a rave review I got. I thought it was funny. This guy right here really got triggered by the evidence. I proved that, there was no intention of them fighting in between. I used a data bank. I used even Disney's Canon's source book about saber fights or whatever. I don't remember the title of it. And they even say in that Obi-Wan and Vader didn't fight until the Death Star. So between Revenge of the Sith and the Death Star, they didn't fight. There wasn't another fight. So they're even retconning their own stuff as well. So this is a huge retcon. This person got triggered over facts. And what is that saying? Facts don't care about your feelings. Yeah, sweetheart. So if anybody's crying or near crying, it is you, Mr. Tony. I'm sorry that you can't see the evidence before you. I'm sorry that you have to have everything spoon-fed. I guess that's what these new generations need. I don't know, of Star Wars fans. I don't know, that they don't see context. They don't see the story for what it is, and they have to have everything specifically explained to them, or it didn't happen, or it didn't occur, or what have you, which is stupid. I'll just say it's stupid. It's stupid. Let me see what you guys have to say. OG really knows how to trigger the shield. She's Master Troll. I'm not trying to be Master Troll. I'm just sharing facts. And if that pisses them off, then I guess it works. I guess. I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to be a troll. That's not my point. That's not my focus. I just share facts. I go and do my research. And I look up the intention of the creator. The intention of the creator was not to have a duel in between the two, because the full circle means from point A to point B. It doesn't mean that there were steps along the way. Full circle from, so there you go. All right, so you guys, I just thought I'd share that. I don't know what you guys think about this fool here, but it's on that video right here. Right here, and this right here too is from, what do you think audience would look forward to the most, Revenge of the Sith? It has to be the final showdown between Anakin and Darth Vader, because there's so much stake into it. So basically it's the first final showdown, and the last final is the Death Star. And so there you go. So they know, the actors knew, my cat's over here by me, the actors knew that the first final showdown, the first and the final showdown was their fight on Mustafar, and the last epic one was the one on this Death Star here. And so there you go. There you go. So thank you guys. I just wanted to close with this as well. Thank you guys for joining. And next week we'll further go into for societies. I'll let you, and I'll have my poll up. I don't know what I'm going to do my poll about. I try to make it with the topics that we discuss and share. And so stay tuned for that. So if you guys want to learn more about For Societies, stay tuned for the next few coffee chats, as well as news, what's going on in Star Wars, and other little topics, fun things that, I like to share here as well. And if you want to catch any or get any merch, go ahead and check out my Redbubble and go to my gallery on my website and purchase a print as well. And if you want to become a channel member, I highly appreciate it. No pressure. But you do have benefits with that as well, and it highly contributes to the channel. I do need to get a better mic and a better setup, so that any money earned through this channel will go towards building up this channel to be bigger and better as well, so that you guys can have and continue to have George Lucas era Star Wars in front of you. Let me see what Jackson says. If it can't be destroyed by the truth, it deserves to be destroyed by the truth. There you go. If it can be destroyed by the truth, it deserves to be destroyed by the truth. There you go. Yes, and that's my whole point is like, hey, wait a minute here. You say it's this. I'm going to go ahead and research. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm right, I'm going to share the facts with you. And so there you go. So thank you guys again. See you guys on Coffee Chat next week. At the end of each month, last Wednesday of each month is HoloNet Journal, which basically goes back into the history of Star Wars, Lucasfilm during that month. And so it's a bit of like a history part of sharing the development and lore. So next month we're in May, June. So we'll go back in time for Lucasfilm in the month of June. So stay tuned for that. We'll get more into the EU portion of that as well, since I basically celebrated Star Wars in general yesterday. So that was a special edition of that. So the format's changed slightly on that. And I thank you guys who came. I did have a special giveaway for those who attended. So you didn't have to be a channel member to win a sticker or a copy of Luke Skywalker painting. So congratulations to everyone who won. And thank you again for those who attended that stream as well. And those channel members who attend any live stream between now and July 1st, your name will be entered to win a copy of Boba Fett and Slave One behind him. I still don't have a title for that. Sorry for that. And then stay tuned for more EU shorts. I do have one that I shared with you guys today that's out. Go listen and leave a comment on there. Let me know you visited it and share. That's what I look for, is I want you guys to share these videos out. And even if I get bad reviews or people who are triggered, and good ones, it's still people coming and supporting the channel, whether they agree with me or not. So thank you guys again for tuning in, and may the force be with you. And I'll talk to you guys later. Oh yeah, and one more thing. Find me on my YouTube community for the channel on Twitter as well. So thank you again, and may the force be with you.
Another happy landing.